What's up, Cheeks? Yeah, I got it. I just can't play that on air. I'll get a copyright. It's a good one, though. Thank you. What's up, Jari? What's up, Tom? Is that your theory right now, revenge? What's up, Frank? Hey, Wanda. Let's persevere. Hello. What'd you do? Did you go to Delphi? What's up, Carrie? Hey, Marlo. Good to see you. Hey, Carrie. I am doing absolutely wonderful. I hope you are as well. Well, yeah, glove being found. I mean, could be nothing. These college kids running around that little area. Could be anybody's glove. Oh, Olivia, don't even say the word tequila, please. Hey, Vanessa. Miss Thang, what's up? Hey, Vanessa. Margaret, hello. Violet. Hey, Bogey. Fire in the bowl. True Crime with Shannon, hello. What's up, Jill? You're doing well. TTM, hello. Indy, what's up? Hey, Becky. Hey, there's Tommy. Good to see you, Tommy. Oh, how dare you, Patricia. Good to see everybody. Perfect timing, Miss Persevere. We will be having a meeting, most likely tomorrow in the evening. There's that word again. That'd be interesting, Frank. Oh, heck no, Lisa. Lots of water, lots of vitamins. And I was able to get a burrito down. Thank God. Bloody Mary would have done the trick, I think. Hey, Jen. Plot of revenge, conspiracy, murder for hire. Welcome to another Sleuth Intuition Live. We are going to be presenting all the updates in regards to the Idaho murders. Coming straight from Roger Lanier, and we'll also read an article with an interview with Bill Thompson. He's the prosecutor there in Latah County. We're going to look into these mystery investigators who I think may be related to a person that lives in Moscow. If let's let me see if I can read this verbatim. The_Moscow_Slayer is an Instagram account that was pulled down recently. The account was created prior to the murders. This person claims to be a Navy SEAL, um, and some of the missions included sneaking into houses in the middle of the night. And apparently, terrorists always leave a window open and would literally go in there using sharp-edged weapons so that they don't attract attention. So I don't know if these men are related to this person who right now um, has my full interest. So I'm thinking that this guy might actually have something to do with this, but I don't know yet. We're going to take a look at some new details discovered in the body cam footage. A group of people leaving the crime scene area heading what looks to be basically the same direction, maybe closer to the frat house there, as opposed to the center of the field where those other three gentlemen were stopped by law enforcement and cited for underage drinking. So we'll take a look at that. And that's how we're going to spend today's live stream. And then some miscellaneous things towards the end. What's up, kid? Good to see you. Amy J, hello. Jen from the suburbs. Kiwi, how are you? Good to see you. Hey, D, what's up? All right. Caught up on the chat. Let's get going. We will start with the updates here. You guys have probably already seen it. This is going on about 2 days old now, but it's still something important that we take the information provided directly from law enforcement and we filter from that. We filter down and we take that into consideration before we do anything. And we don't, we're free to do what we want, but you got to remember the end goal is to bring somebody to justice and make sure that they face the consequences for what they did. So I'm a little bit torn. They're already trying to preserve, when it comes to prosecution and law enforcement, they're already trying to preserve a case against somebody that they don't have in custody. So in my mind, the main goal should always be to get this person in custody, because then they're going to be able to get all kinds of information and new evidence and stuff now that they have this person in custody. I don't see how little details and people speculating online is going to affect their bottom line. According to the prosecutors, he says it may taint the jury, but really those words, in my opinion, are just to dissuade people like me from digging, you know. But in my opinion, we need to have somebody in custody first and foremost when it comes to these kind of cases. All right, so this is going to be Roger Lanier, Captain Roger Lanier.
My name is Roger Lanier. I'm a captain with the Moscow Police Department. I'm in charge of the Operations Division. And today is December 12th, Monday, and I want to give you an update on the King Road homicide investigations, at least the information that we have to this point. Over the weekend, investigators still continued to sort through numerous tips, calls, and online tips in regard to this investigation. There's been a lot of questions about the white car that we've been interested in. We're looking for that car because we believe through our investigation that that car was in the area during the time of the murders, and we also believe that the occupant or occupants may have seen something. They may not know they've seen something. So we specifically want to talk to them, and we want to know who they are and what they might know or might be able to contribute to the investigation. Over the weekend, investigators have sorted through and prioritized numerous tips. Some are tips that came in earlier and we've been working on. Other tips are new and are relevant. It's overwhelming sometimes with the amount of information that comes in on these tip lines. So our analysts have spent hours sorting through and trying to come up with the most relevant tips first for the investigators to follow up on. They have re-interviewed some of the folks we've interviewed earlier in this investigation to clarify information. Sometimes when new information comes forward, the people that we've spoken to beforehand may have new insight on that. So it does often seem like we're backtracking, but we're really just trying to get the most important details and the best timeline that we can come up with. We have literally an army of analysts who have been sorting through videos that have been submitted through the FBI.gov Moscow upload site. Those videos are from all over town, gas stations, and specifically the area around King Road. We've been trying to use those videos to garner.
Tech Death, what's up? Says killer drove that car, or someone would have came forward after all this time. I was thinking about that this morning, and I agree with you. It's very reminiscent of the Delphi case and the CPS vehicle, or even when they first released the images of the bridge guy. They said, "Oh, we just want to see if he knows anything. We just want to ask him if he saw anything." That's bullshit. They had the full audio. They knew who this guy was, but they don't want to put down all their cards. But we all know how they they screwed that up because the guy already came forward.
New information. As you can imagine, there's hours and hours and hours of video, so it does take a lot of time. I want to talk a minute about safety. There's been a lot of speculation about what is the safety to the public right now, or the risk to the public right now. I would just like to add that we should always be vigilant. Certainly we should be vigilant now, but we should make that a way of life for us. We should always be walking with our head up, sticking to lighted paths, and walking in groups if we can. And in addition, letting people know when you've arrived home if you have not made prior arrangements. This is not an indication of a specific elevated risk, but something that we should be vigilant with just in our daily lives. I want to let everybody know that we are still 100% committed to solving this crime. There's a lot of information to sort through, and the information keeps coming in. And not all of the information is relevant, but you don't know if a tip is valid until you take the time to examine that tip and see how it relates to other information that you might have. We have teams in Moscow, Salt Lake City, and in Virginia, as well as other locations across the country. And we're prepared to do interviews and follow up on information at any point, anywhere. The ISP and FBI investigators, along with the Moscow Police Department investigators, includes dozens of analysts, tip line operators, and others, and they're working around the clock, 7 days a week to sort through the volumes of information. MPD has detectives, support personnel, and a communications team to try to keep everything together, but it is still a daunting task. The FBI, their investigators are ready at a moment's notice at any place in the country to go conduct an interview should the tips and leads take us there. And the Idaho State Police has, besides working on the investigation, had several uniformed troopers in the area to help with safety concerns around the city and on the University of Idaho campus. And just a quick reminder, please stick to official news releases for information. Tracking down rumors and quelling rumors about specific individuals or specific events that may or may not have happened is a huge distraction for investigators, and oftentimes is the result of social media propagation, and it is very, very...
Tom, thank you for the super chat. Says, I think in Delphi, they should have released the Hoosier Harvest Store video and asked about the Ford Focus. I mean, they should have at least mentioned the Ford Focus. But I think we're going to learn that they knew a lot of information. I think they just didn't have enough to move forward with it. I think they had a pretty good idea who that man on the bridge was. But you've seen the problems they have with the information that they have. You still have people wondering if this guy's guilty with the info that they currently have on him, or was the probable cause even enough to go serve that search warrant? Um, but yeah, I mean, why wouldn't they release the details of that Ford Focus and all the other cars that were driving around that area? Most likely because they already knew.
Frustrating to investigators and hard to stay on track.
Plus, they asked for the driver.
Finally, I just want to add that we do have a lot of information, and we are specifically keeping that information safe. We're not releasing specific details because we do not want to compromise this investigation. It's what we must do. We owe that to the families, and we owe that to the
True
victims.
Grandmama.
We want more than just an arrest. We want a conviction. We owe that justice to Xana, Kaylee, Madison, and Ethan.
Yeah, but you don't have justice without a killer in custody. You can't put the trailer before the horse. You know what I mean? I know you can try to take care of the trailer, preserve it, but it's not going to work if you throw that out in front. I don't know how when it comes to horses, you don't have a rear wheel drive.
And finally, I would just like to remind anybody with information, you can call the tip line at 208-883-7180. And that is directly to the tip line office in the FBI. There's been some frustration about having to wade through the tip line, but remember, this is not the only investigation in the country. So please be patient. We want that information. Anything could break this open for us. And then also the email tip line is tipline@ci.moscow.id.us. Thank you for your continued patience.
And there seems to be an issue with the FBI portion that they provided for people to send in video files and things like that. That seems to be down, or they took it down. I'm not sure. Maybe they got all of the information from the locals that they wanted, and now they're starting to get all this kind of weird stuff from just random people. What's up, Shauna? Susiana says, I don't think they have anything significant since they're looking for the Elantra at the border. Yeah, that's a scary thought to think that this killer may have gotten away. But I don't think so. There's something strange with this Moscow Slayer. If this guy's legit, I mean, he fits the MO 100%. Retired Navy SEAL, having flashbacks, maybe, I don't know, maybe just lost it. I've been killing for the U.S. government. What's the difference? Who knows what we're going to look at. It's really creepy stuff. Kills 4, leaves 2 alive and not called in till noon. That crime scene was cleaned up before police were called. Yeah, that would be really crazy if they were all doing some kind of hallucinogenic drugs. Because if you remember, when the police interviewed those kids that got cited for minor consumption, he said he thought the guy was fake. Like he was hallucinating. And if you see the video where they don't blur out their faces, he looks really weird. He's wearing sunglasses in the middle of the night. He's wearing sunglasses. And he said, I thought it was a fake person. And the officer asked, well, how many fake people are you seeing? I don't know. Maybe he's seen a whole bunch of some fake shit. Maybe he's high out of his mind. some PCP or something. Okay, now this interview, I believe, is from. Let me see. I think I have it right here. Daily News. And it'll be Bill Thompson. Let me go ahead and throw up an image of Bill. He's their prosecutor there for Lawtop County. Quite the beard. Okay, so Lawtop County prosecutor said the concern about having an unbiased jury influences what is being shared publicly about the investigation into the November 13th murders of 4 University of Idaho students in Moscow. There's always a concern, particularly in a smaller community like ours, that we need to be responsible with what information is made available to the public so we don't risk tainting the prospective jury pool, Prosecutor Bill Thompson told the Daily News on Tuesday. Assuming that we're able to file a case and it goes to trial, we want to be able to pick an unbiased jury from within the community. Like, I understand that that is the goal there, but you got to have somebody in custody before any of that even matters. No suspects have been identified in the case surrounding the deaths of Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogan, Ethan Chafin, and Xana Kernodle. However, Thomas said law enforcement has an obligation to limit pretrial publicity that could compromise the fairness of the case when it goes to trial. It's a balancing act, he said, to provide information to the public without harming the case. While his office has dealt with high-profile cases before, this one is unique, he said. I don't know what we've ever seen. I don't know that we've ever seen this degree of media attention, including the national media attention, but I understand this is a very serious case. He said it's very tragic, and the public wants to know as much as they can about what's going on. Thomas said if this case goes to trial, a jury selection process will determine whether jurors have the preconceived notions or biases with the idea being that even if they heard something that they can set aside and make a decision just based on the evidence that they hear in a courtroom. We don't want somebody to come in with predisposition or a bias about what the result should be, he said. I want people who can come in open-minded and fair and listen to the evidence and then make a decision on the issues of guilt. Well, I mean, that depends on the person. Thomas said the Lawtop County Prosecutor's Office is currently providing legal advice to law enforcement working the case, as well as obtaining a search warrant. He said his office has obtained more than 50 search warrants on the investigation. His philosophy is to work hand in hand with investigators from the beginning, he said. We don't sit back and just wait for law enforcement to do an investigation and then send it up, he said. I don't think that's responsible. Doing this for 30 years, that compromises the integrity of the investigation. We really work as a team. With that said, the case is challenging because it does not have an easy answer and just leaps right in front, he said. Thompson said those involved in the investigation knew from the beginning it was going to require patience. The investigators are having a meticulously sort through every possible tip, sort through every bit of information they can come up with, and identify to try to recreate accurately what occurred, which means recreating the activities of everybody potentially involved or friends who may know something or bystanders who may know something. The Moscow police. Oh, the investigators are having, or excuse me, I lost my place here. The Moscow police announced it will begin removing some of the victims' personal belongings from the crime scene on King Road starting today. So this article is a few days old. So what we gather from this article, 50 search warrants. So, I mean, they got their hands full for sure. Hey, what's up, Chopper? Vanessa says, I wonder if they had some campus cop impersonators causing an issue, or maybe he was blitzed. Nope, getting ready for Christmas shopping. Almost done. I'm over shopping. Yeah, I'm pretty much done already. Chris Kringle. Popo Gijo. Okay, so it looks like they're working hard. Prosecutors staying very active in the case. That's good. But some strange things have definitely been going on revolving this case. And here is an example of one of those instances.
Here, and about 5 plainclothes investigators.
Yeah,
We
that
don't know
sounds
if they're
weird.
local, state, federal. They were inside, and we saw a
Oh, I may need to reload this one. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but the audio sounded really strange.
and a
That's weird. Why is it doing that? What the hell is going on? Here, maybe I can play it without the volume. Let's try that. Really, I just want you guys to see these people. They don't look like normal investigators. So apparently they came out there around 10 p.m. at night. One had a Washington plate, the other had an Idaho plate. They were wearing gloves. Look, and they're hiding their faces. That's super suspicious right there. They look military to me. Yeah, Delana, they had their hats and their heads down. They were trying to hide their identity. They were like this the whole time. One was even smart enough to keep his head down as he came through that hallway, knowing that the window would expose his face. U.S. Marshals. He's wearing some kind of badge around his neck. I'm going to try to figure that out after the stream. But one of them had a Washington plate. So these aren't local cops. See, head down. He was wearing rubber gloves. Okay, here's the theory. Let's say that this Moscow Slayer character claims to be a Navy SEAL, right? So if law enforcement kind of gave the U.S. government the heads up, like, hey, you know, one of your own popped up on our radar, and they said, you know, we're getting ready to pursue him as one of our major suspects. So when it's one of their own, they want to go in there and conduct their own investigation, or hopefully not muddy the waters, or you know, try to get them off. You know, because I mean, you either how else do you go into this house undetected and you murder these people in different rooms without waking the entire neighborhood? You know, to me, that takes skills. And some of them, which maybe the two first victims, had some defensive wounds. So if he's able to handle 2 people at one time without making a whole lot of noise, that's pretty scary. So let's take a look. Let me pull this image up. Yeah, I'm not sure what was going on with that audio. It was a good video too. I don't know. These guys look military to me. I don't know why. Yeah, if you see here, he has a lanyard. You think FBI? David says yes, military. I'm getting military vibes from these guys. I'm paranoid. Paranoid about what? And I stay paranoid. Yeah, these don't look like ex-military. These look like active military. Ain't that the truth? Some Texas Rangers. Yeah, I'm getting those vibes. And I could be completely wrong. But I mean, these guys are there for a reason. They're being very quiet. Why show up 10 at night? You know, trying to avoid all the media that can't handle the cold weather. They weren't there. Good thing these guys were there to catch this. Yeah, Texas Rangers, they would have flown into Spokane or somewhere in Washington and then driven into Moscow, which could answer for the Washington plates. I'm not sure what kind of boots. All right, let's take a look at this the Moscow Slayer. This is an Instagram account. It's now taken down. Was created before the crimes. It's just very strange. Delana says the numbers of persons working on the case included in the law enforcement tostada did not change after these people arrived. Everyone was saying 4 extra field agents, but nothing showing that. Yeah, wasn't Chuck Norris a Texas Ranger? Just joking. Yeah, thank you, Tom. What's up, bud? Sleuth, I'm from Texas. The Rangers are legit. They say their jurisdiction is whoever they are. They will go all over the country and the world to hunt someone down. Good. Yeah, when you said tostada, you made me hungry. I was thinking about beans and melted cheese, some paste picante sauce. Ooh. Sorry. Okay, now these images are all taken from this person's Instagram account, and he left a comment underneath this one asking us to look at the stained edge of this knife. It's kind of got a brownish patina. Tina, hello, says, I still say profilers. I didn't notice them taking anything out of the house. Well, my brain, after looking at this crazy Moscow Slayer account and him claiming to be a Navy SEAL, going into homes and killing people undetected with edged weapons, it made me think that these guys were going in there to verify that. Almost like he was one of their own. Like if we verify it's him, we'll be the ones to take him in. Maybe there's something. I remember there was a guy there that was, I think he was going to check out the air ducts. Remember? Maybe this crazy guy came in through the air duct. You know? Maybe he was just sitting in there for a while, watching investigators coming and going. He just never left. I don't know. The thought of some kind of rogue ex-Navy SEAL. I mean, that could be very possible. I mean, how else do you get away with a crime like this, even for a day? Carrie. Yeah, I thought that was Chuck Norris. Bees 9, what's up? Marshals can go anywhere also. Yes, they can. Hi, Tina. Yep, I heard about the ROTC. That's funny, JM. Good to see you. David C says those guys went in there to tell the police how the attack went down. Behavioral. You're thinking Quantico, FBI? Oh, this Navy SEAL guy who claims to be a Navy SEAL, the Moscow Slayer account, claims that he lost a 12-inch fixed blade knife. You know, how convenient that he's going around saying that. And the fact that he named himself the Moscow Slayer, I mean, that sounds like a serial killer right there. Okay. So he posted this image here on his Instagram. They got the crossbones and the skull in the background. And he writes, I don't miss the days of sneaking into houses overseas in the early hours past midnight to take out enemies of the United States. Forced entry with explosives into a target building was commonplace for many units, as well as mine, but it was also not uncommon for terrorizers to leave doors and windows unlocked and unguarded, only to catch some Z's minutes or hours later. Those actions alone, fortunately, would allow us to effortlessly capture or kill any adversaries or high-value targets with suppressed weapons or edged weapons. when firearms weren't deemed a safe and effective option. My point, simple precautions could prevent your demise. Gave me chills. Yeah, I don't know about hiding in air ducts, Kimmy, but somebody, a Navy SEAL, that might be something that they could easily do or have training in. Wouldn't that be creepy? No, he says explosives, but all as well. But he says, but it was also not uncommon for terrorizers to leave doors and windows unlocked. Doesn't that sound familiar? And unguarded. So I don't know. Maybe this guy thought it was another challenge. Yeah, hey girl. Does sound like a killer. Hey, Sensei, what's up? Thanks for following me on TikTok. I just added my TikTok. I was chasing down information on this Moscow Slayer account, and they had a whole bunch on there. Hey, Lisa. Tina, good to see you. Yeah, that's what I was hoping for, Cheryl. Surely they could track the account and see who that is. That's what I'm thinking. I think they did. I think they found out who it was, verified he was a Navy SEAL, called investigators from the military to verify whether or not maybe something they saw was very suspicious. Maybe it fit an MO or a certain technique, something that might be trained in certain parts of the military. This guy mentions being able to sneak through windows and do stuff like that. So maybe there's a telltale sign there. You got it. Wow. Chopper says, my boss at work worked with USA Special Forces. He was a UK sniper, went tracking high risk targets. Wow. And if you're going to be on foot for, days at a time, trying to sneak into a territory, you got to know, you got to have some survival skills. Those elements will get you. There you go, Marlo. Waded in the ducks. Yeah, let's not focus on the ducks. Stop feeding the ducks. It was just an out loud thought. Okay, and then he posted this up. Hold on. Viewer discretion advised. We might skip that one. Sorry about that, guys. What he did was he posted an image of somebody who was brutally murdered and made a very disparaging comment. Let me see if I can pull up the comment. I'll zoom in on that. Okay. So he writes, colorized variant of the same 1880 photo of MJK. That's the initials of the person who was murdered that I posted. Very cool to see a more defined picture of her. I hope her killer is found one day. He writes here, never a dull moment with my Millie. This is the last knife that I carried into combat. I might have taken out a few bad dudes with it. He leaves a blood drop and crossbones. I don't know. Is that a Navy SEAL symbol? The skull and crossbones? Or is that just straight skull and bones? Yeah, I'm sure they have, Chopper. There was a couple people that mentioned they did report it. And as I was tracking this information, first it was presented, and I was like, oh my gosh, who is this guy? And then it was reported that he was being looked into, or people had tipped him in. And then his account went down. He pulled his account down. Just like Domino's. Tina says, maybe the Moscow Slayer would like to enlighten us as to why he murdered these people and why he chose that knife. So I think this is where he mentions losing a knife. Yeah, I'm getting really bad vibes from this this guy here. The second I seen it, it was really strange. It's a good question, bud. They were killed on the 13th. Yeah, Kimmy, I like doing that stuff. Trapping. I like fishing and trapping. I like showing all my nephews all that shit. It's fun. Yeah, maybe Indy. He says here, I misplaced my K-bar knife a few days ago. It's a fairly intimidating knife to the average person and has a blade length of 7 inches and an overall length of 12 inches. If you or anyone know may have stumbled upon it, I'd like it back. Thanks. So he's saying he's got to go shopping for a new knife. And that's what we refer to as a fixed blade. Crazy. Miracle Hearts 2 says attention seeker. Possibly, but we can't just write him off. You know? Was he watching the fish too? Is he watching his was he watching his stocks that day? Therefore he couldn't have committed the murders? Is that what's going on? He already was cleared by law enforcement? He said, I misplaced my K-bar knife. And the type of wounds, so if they had a real heavy knife, I think it could leave gashes. With direction. I hope not. That'd be awful. That might make somebody go crazy. Lisa says my survival rating is 0 or a 1. All I have is cash and tears. That might get you through a couple situations. Hey girl, I'm gonna do a follow-up on the Moscow Slayer. I stumbled across it yesterday and I didn't have a whole lot of time to get as much information as I wanted. I wanted to show you guys in case you haven't seen it. That way you guys can get looking too. And when we reconvene, Maybe we'll have something something of value or something interesting. But we can't overlook this guy. I mean, if he really was an ex-Navy SEAL, and also he was following, he has 3 followers, and he was only following these 3. It's kind of strange. So he knew these girls, whether through social media or not. He was following them on his Instagram. And here's the guy goes by the name Idaho People, and he shared one of the comments made by the Moscow Slayer. So he made a comment, props to him for going this long without getting caught. Jack the Ripper would be proud. So what do you think about that? You think that's appropriate? So he has a thing for slashers. Jack the Ripper is the most notorious slasher / killer. So if he's looking up to Jack the Ripper, that's pretty bad. Yeah, hey Sasha. We're gonna do a follow-up. Tom N says they think it's a joke till the cops are kicking down their doors. I hope they do. Because there was a lot of other accounts too who were saying some really messed up things. Not that I know of, Chopper. Yeah, that could be true, Miracle Hearts. You're not going to go around talking about it. Unless you're suffering from some mental health issues and you're kind of losing control or your grip on reality. You know? Maybe you have something else that's bothering in you and you found somebody to blame it on. Hey, what's up, Ruckus? Good to see you. Hey, what's up, Tax? Yeah, it could be a troll account, Tax. But what if it's not? It was created before the crime. So. Yeah, almost taunting or wanting to be caught. What if this is the guy that's responsible for the other 2 murders? Hey, Violet. Yeah, very scary. Did that change your mind right there? The Jack the Ripper stuff, right? Yeah. So we got Sandra Ladd and Travis Jewett, who were murdered 2021 and 2020, 14 months apart. And then also you have the Idaho murders, which were 14 months from those murders, all of them on the 13th. So maybe he committed the murders in his own town because he wants to get caught. Stuck on stupid. Yes, he was following the girls before the murders. I think he even made a comment. Don't quote me on any of this stuff yet. Let me do some more research on it. I've only done like a surface where I've heard a lot of information about it, but didn't verify that information yet. And that's what I'll do when we follow up on this guy. And hopefully you guys will have something for me or for the group as well. Something interesting. Because the fact that this guy shows up, his account goes down, and then you have these 5 strange, mysterious investigators show up who appear to be military. I don't know. Miracle Hearts Navy SEALs, maybe after combat and later on in life, things can change, you know? Your health can deteriorate. Maybe alcoholism or drugs could start to affect. Maybe you're on the wrong medication. Some of the side effects are psychosis. But I don't know. If you were a trained assassin, you think murder, if you're, let's say your political opinions or your motives change, you're no longer trying to protect the United States, you have your own motivation. What are you going to be able to differentiate from why you were murdering for the US government and now why you're murdering for yourself? But it's a very thin theory, and hopefully we can look into that at a later time. But because of time, we are going to move on to the body cam stuff. Let me see where I put that. That's not the right video. Okay, here we go. D Telecaster could be the killer, but zero chance this dude was a SEAL. Absolute wannabe phony liar. Without knowing for sure, I mean, you can't really say that. Yes, Delana. Well, one technically was on the 14th, but it could have been in the early hours of the 13th. But they were all 14 months apart on the 13th and pretty close to each other. Basically, you could drive to each location within a day. And think about it. Let's say your anchor point is Moscow, Idaho. You're leaving Moscow to commit these other 2 murders, right? But you're not getting any credit for it. So I really hope there's not some kind of cover up going on here. Yep, that is true, Bees. Yep, 10 p.m. I think just a day ago, in the middle of the night, and they wouldn't answer any questions. There was a media group that was out there and was able to get this footage of these investigators, which to me it seems like they didn't want that. They didn't want any attention. Seems too obvious unless he's a moron. However, he's still not caught. So yeah. Yeah, and he could be using IP addresses. Like we don't know. You don't know how skilled people are. You know, you don't know what kind of technical skills they hold. You can't just go around assuming. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Sasha. Yeah, it takes a lot of effort, to maintain after being traumatized. Eventually, you're just going to have to let it out or you're going to get sick. Like law enforcement, prosecutor guy said, we want more than just an arrest. We want a conviction. Speedy trial. Law has changed the dynamics on arrest since then. Yeah, that's true. But we got to have somebody in custody before they even have a case. Colonel Kurtz, hello. Something was stolen from the victim's house. Any information on this? No. Let me write that down. Do you know what was stolen? During the murders, Colonel, or after? The joggers? Yeah, that's what we're going to look at right now. And they're not joggers. It looks like a group. I slowed it down. It's like 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, and 5. So you got a couple of hats. Looks like maybe a girl or two in the mix. Thank you, Carrie. Yeah, Chopper. Man, they give me military vibes. Just the way they're so matter of fact. They're there with an objective, and I think it's to verify maybe some evidence or some markings near a window or something they found at the scene. They wanted these people to come take a look at it. And the only thing that would really still be there at the crime scene, I'm thinking maybe blood stains and entry marks or something along those lines, possibly. Yeah, we're going to take a closer look, Vanessa. We're going to do a follow-up on that. But it definitely piqued my interest. Well, it's a cult. Tax Cut says it's strange to me that people give the number 13 some significance. It's not strange to me because there's a lot of people who believe in the occult and they believe they can derive power from numerology and things like that in their rituals. So I don't know if it's strange or if just some people are strange. And I'm sure there's people who innocently believe these types of things that don't go around killing people. Yes. They showed up after everything was removed from the home. That's correct, Indy. All right, let's take a closer look over here. So I did pinpoint where they were walking. They were not walking on King Road. They were actually walking between these houses right here. Okay, so this is right in front of the crime scene, the home. You can see it there. And just to the right or to the left is a staircase and a path that will lead you right where those people were walking. But they could have been coming from anywhere. Apparently there was a party they were headed to. The group that got stopped. And the police were right there. And what's strange is I found another photo, and I think this was from Fox. Fox News put this out. But the very next day, so right where law enforcement had those guys that I think were hallucinating on drugs, and there's a version out there where they don't have their faces covered. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to see that, but one of them in the middle, he looks fucking out of his mind. He's wearing sunglasses at 3 a.m. and he's seeing fake people. That sounds like PCP to me, or some kind of hallucinogenic. And now you have law enforcement standing right where they were. Actually, technically, this would be maybe the same day if it was at 3 a.m. This may be later in that day. And those boys were standing right here. You can see the red fire hydrant in the body cam footage. All right. And this was the final thing that I wanted to bring up. Because the more I look into it, the more it's being kind of pushed under the rug. The dog found skin, head to tail, is unrelated to the college students' murders. So there's people. Let me catch this super chat here. Thank you, Francis. My Mexicano brother from another mother. Sup, my man. Bro, I commented on a video days ago. What's the difference between the $5 and the $10 membership? Really, it's just more if you want to support more, and then you get a smaller group of people when we have our meetings. So as a regular member, there's about 3 meetings per month. But there's a lot that goes on in the community page. You get access to the members only Discord. But the loyal sleuth option is just if you want to give more to the channel, if you want to help more, and just have a smaller group of people when we're kind of talking about these cases. We try to stay very active in the members section here on my channel. No, Lisa, I have not seen that yet. Thank you, Francis. Yeah, that's awful. Silence. I wonder if those girls are speaking. Thank you, Francis. I appreciate that. Okay, so we all know the story of the dog that was skinned, and then there was a follow-up after it where people were saying, no, it was a wild animal, right? Wild animals doing it. Well, I found this post. And I'll cover the name because I didn't block it too well. But it is real. It's a real Moscow account. And let's take a look what it says here. Okay, he says, not fake news. This was our neighbor's dog. Other weird things with animals have been happening in our neighborhood too. Can you elaborate? What else is going on? Wild animals being dismembered. So, I mean, if you've lived there your whole life, you're going to know the difference, right? Not fake news. Other weird things with animals have been happening in the neighborhood too. So if we're looking at a highly qualified, highly technically trained killer who may be suffering from some mental health issues right now. But that's messed up. Good jab. That was a good jab there. I'll allow it. No red Jeeps. JM said, if someone skinned my dog, I'd hunt them down and skin them head to toe, then castrate them just because. That was very descriptive. The animals were just training exercise until they moved on to butchering students. I don't know what they're going to do next. It's either going to hit or when it will. Never seen anything like it. I was thinking about that today, Tony. I was thinking about Jeffrey Dahmer and other killers. They evolve, and a lot of times they start with animals. So I don't know if this guy is skilled and he's responsible for killing these animals. Maybe he's just checking how effective his blades are. Yep, the Dark Triad. Setting fires. I believe wetting the bed after the age of 12. And hurting animals. 3 things that most serial killers and killers have in common. Or I think it might even be considered the McDonald triad. Triad, I'm not sure. Same principles. Hagel says, I think it's the neighbor that hates noise. Oh my gosh. Apparently they weren't making any noise. Lisa says, I get a watcher vibe before and after. Seems like various vantage points. Yeah, there's some strange things online also about somebody posting some stuff on 4chan. I haven't been able to verify it or track down any of that information. But apparently somebody who from Moscow, because when you post, sometimes it'll provide your location information there. And right around the time of the murders, it appears like somebody took a photo of one of the girls, but this could all be faked. So I'm going to look into that more. There's a lot of really, really strange things going on online at the time that the murders were going on. So it's very strange. You guys want to watch that video one more time before we get out of here? So strange. I wish the audio would work, but really the only thing of importance they say was Washington plates and Idaho plates. And even this lady here mentions that they don't look like FBI or regular police. She says that they seem more like military guys. So we had the same opinion about these men. Thank you, Francis. So Sleuth, let's hear it. S killer or angry outcast? I'm thinking because of the skill involved, we might be dealing with a calculated killer. And I know that they say one of the victims seemed targeted. I mean, what does that mean? Apparently just the wounds were more extensive. Gashes, apparently. Could have just been the first victim. Yeah, this seems like somebody who would know how to silence two people at one time. Like he was considering all angles while he was in there. Like he was trained to do it. Yeah, the way they walk. So let's take a look at that again. Let me turn this audio off. It's all messed up for some reason. I may have it on like slow motion or something. It's causing it to be weird. So you get a real good look at that guy. Head down. Like, you ain't gonna see me. Yeah, you get a good look at this guy here. Got the gloves on. He's looking at his gloves even. Lisa says, I would be curious to know if any of the suspects are right in the apartment adjacent. Yeah, if this is a watcher type crime, and we've seen that plenty where they covet from a distance, and maybe at nighttime they're able to sneak in and kind of steal items of clothing or do a bunch of weird shit, you know. That's possible. Thanks, Tom. Targeted attack is also what they call revenge killing or a murder for hire. I feel the BF, GF were just collateral. I just don't understand going upstairs, killing two people, and then coming downstairs and killing two more. If this is targeted, I just don't think that would be how it goes, you know? I think this person may have even tried to get into the downstairs floor, number one. Maybe he was unable to get into that, you know? They're separate domiciles, really. Each floor, you have a different group of people occupying that space, and maybe the killer couldn't get down there. Tom says, have you looked into the Hannah Claire theory? No, I haven't, Tom. Is that the correct spelling? Hannah Claire. Yeah, who is Hannah, Tom? I'm going to look into it today. CJK, if the killer came on through the second floor slider, I just got an email from somebody. I don't know if you want me to say your name or not, but they wrote, hey, on the second was when Kaylee's dad announced he hired PIs. Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. But I just don't know if it would be a group like this, you know? But yeah, it could be. It could be a private group that he hired. I just don't understand why they would have Washington plates unless they called in their own experts. And why wouldn't they have a liaison or an usher there? You know, somebody from local law enforcement keeping an eye on them. It seems really sketchy to me. I'm getting like U.S. government vibes from these guys. So yeah, U.S. Marshal, FBI, or some type of military. Ann says, seems to me the killer was focused on the girls on the third floor. May have been stalking and peeping them from back of the house. And then maybe got surprised by one or the other, second floor, coming down. To me, that would equal a lot of noise. There doesn't seem to be any noise going on at this time. I don't know. It's almost like they're there to view something. Like, we're going to call these guys in so we can get their expert opinion. You know, maybe they have a suspect in mind. All right, guys, we're going to start closing it down. I want to thank all of you for participating in the chat. If you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe to my channel, and consider becoming a member. We have a lot of fun, and that is a good way to show your support for what we do here. And I will catch you guys on the next one. We'll hang out for about 5 minutes in the chat, okay? Can you guys hear that popping noise? Can you hear that? Thank you, Nadia. Participation. Thanks, Carmen. Yeah. We're just going to close it down, guys. I don't know what's going on with the audio. I just need to refresh. Let me try something real quick. We'll see if that helps. I should have done that earlier. Dropped the ball on that one. Have a good one, Miss Persevere. 5 cowboys and a Dodge Caravan showed up when everybody else has failed. They answer to nobody. They don't play by the rules. They're most elite unit in the country. Oh, really? Tom, I didn't know that. I'll take a look. It's always good to see you, Indy. Yep, everybody be safe. Thank you, Vanessa. Yeah, I don't know what the hell that was all about. It was like this weird popping noise. It's never happened before. Very annoying. Later, Chop. Yeah, anytime, Francis. That's a good one, Francis. I don't know. I would have to verify that, Tony and Tom. I mean, I don't want to go around spreading rumors that they bullied some girl named Hannah without, verifying that first. So if you want to shoot me any links or anything you have to that information, I'll definitely do a follow-up. That could be a motive. Yeah, Tom, I'd like to talk with you about it. Yeah, who are they? Thank you, sir. Sorry about that, Carrie. I don't know what the hell was going on. Later, guys.